I want to list my property higher to leave room to negotiate. Hi, it's Maria Quattrone, and I hear this so often from sellers that they want to list their property higher so they can leave room to negotiate. And this is a terrible idea and a bad strategy. Days on market is never a seller's friend. So the more activity that we can get in the first few days, especially first 21 days, and depending on where you live right now, would depend on the strategy. But let's just say that you live in an area where houses are selling pretty quickly. So you want to make sure that you're pricing so that you can bring as many buyers to that property as possible. And what happens when that happens is that multiple offers happen. And then the buyers end up bidding up the house, and they now are competing against each other instead of you being the highest bidder for your home by pricing too high. You could never price a property too low and have the exposure that you need. So let's just say that it was priced lower and it was exposed to the market for 5 days and you had 20, 30, 40 showings. The buyers will never let a property be priced too low. There will always be then over asking bids. And then the buyers are competing against each other. And because they don't know what the other people are going to, what their offers are going to be, they tend to um, bring offers that are higher than you would have originally gotten had you priced the property too high. I look at prices when the properties are too high. Days on market, people say, what's wrong with the house? Why is it still on the market? Usually it's a problem with the pricing based on the condition and the location. But the less days on market, the more you make as a seller, the more that you make. So leaving room to negotiate is not a great tactic. Buyers are willing to pay what the market will bear. So the buyers ultimately do make the decision on what the price will be for a property. So when you list too high, you risk actually reaching the buyers who can really afford the property. And what happens is every time that you adjust the property down, buyers know that you then are willing to negotiate and you have less power. You have more power when you're pricing it at a price that is going to cause the property to sell and have the exposure that it needs. Because I could tell you, we've seen properties I've represented buyers on, and buyers will be like, I'm not even going to go see that property because the seller is not even in the realm of what the property should be priced at. And I think they're just testing the market out, and I don't want to waste my time. So, and I get sellers all the time say, well, why isn't anybody bringing me an offer? And I said, because when they get there, they don't see the value when they arrive at the property. And he had 20 showings and no offers. That means that the property's at minimum 5% overpriced. I explain this all the time. And, sometimes the strategy works and it works because people listen to me, and other times they don't. They want to go with their own way. But I could tell you, I've never given anybody's house away in the 3,500 homes that I've personally been involved with over almost the last 2 decades. So pricing correctly coming out of the gate is critical in today's environment to actually net you, the seller, the most amount of money possible. So it is important to take action. You don't know when the interest rates are going to go up. They are predicted that they may go higher than they are, which at that point may have some downward pressure on pricing. Not necessarily in every scenario, because there are some areas in the Philadelphia metro market that there's just so limited amount of inventory, such a small amount, that the pricing, the properties are going to just go over ask. And then there's a different strategy that we use when working with the buyers to present an offer that's going to be an acceptable offer for the sellers. There's certain tools in our toolbox that we have to get offers accepted. So it's really important today that you're pricing the property at a price that's going to cause it to sell quickly and net you ultimately the most money. So days on market aren't your friends. We get the most exposure in the first 21 days. And this is proven across the board nationally. This is not me making this up. And if you have a bunch of showings over 12 and you have no offers, you're at least 5% overpriced. And if you have less than that in a 3-week time frame, then you could be as much as 10% overpriced. So listen to what the market is telling you, listen to the feedback, listen to your broker, and make sure that you're being represented by the best people in the industry who have the knowledge and the experience. Really, at this time, experience is paramount, and number of transactions is paramount when working with a broker, with an agent, to know that you are getting the best representation possible. So we are all not created equal, although people like to think that we are. There's, spending 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 plus hours in this industry. There's a lot of deals that you've done. And then this way, when you do a lot of transactions, you learn a lot and you know how to walk through and get things to the table. So ultimately, that's what seller wants, is to get to the table quickly, painlessly, and netting the most money absolutely possible. So don't use a tactic that I want to list my house higher to leave room to negotiate. Bad idea.